Morning guys, my wife has just taken the kids to school and the house is super quiet at the moment, so I thought it would be the perfect time to record another video. So if you're just catching up, we are building a Wordle-style puzzle game, but with images. So users need to guess the phrase based on a series of images that we show them that may or may not be in the correct order, and each image would have a word associated with it. In the previous video I gave the example, I spy with my little eye. You know, you can imagine what that could look like in images and you need to guess the phrase. Cool, so basically in the previous video, what did we do? We defined our project requirements, you know, what do we need to actually make this happen? So we decided we needed an app. It's going to be a web app in React. We needed a backend that we'll use Firebase for, as well as an admin app that will be also using React and Firebase. So we defined that, we defined our tech stack rather, and we set up the project. And so we kind of set it up over here and built the homepage UI. So, you know, nothing too fancy, just looks okay. We'll replace this image at some point. And it's got a button that takes us to the puzzle page. So, you know, we'll do that, and you know, in this video we'll kind of tackle the UI for this puzzle page. So things will get a little bit more interesting now, and there may even be like some more awkward dad jokes in there, who knows. So, you know, let's do this. Let's get coding. Actually, let's get planning. We'll always got to start with a plan first. So let's define what we need for our puzzle page. So basically we want to show today's puzzle. We want to show a series of images with placeholder letters next to it, or placeholder words next to it, and we want to have some sort of button there to, you know, submit my puzzle. We want to be able to input words next to each image, and you know, there will also be things like hints. And so let's define that. Okay, so we're gonna, first of all, we'll need some puzzle data, and we can just mock this for now because we're just dealing with the UI. We will need probably some loading state. Then we've got to decide if we're going to do for the images a horizontal or vertical layout. And you know, if we just think about this, most of our users are probably going to be on mobile, so horizontal would make sense for desktop, but because we're going to have an image with a word next to it or below it, I reckon it makes more sense to have a vertical stack. And we also want to like allow users to sort these images, so I think vertical makes sense. Let's stick with that. Vertical stack of images. And then for each image, we're gonna need like an image and placeholder word next to it. I think for the placeholder word, we could do like Wordle-style, where each character is in a little block. So Wordle-style characters. And then we'd need to allow the user to actually input words. So, you know, we could do that with using an input itself, but you know, we have to remember like each letter is going to be a separate little square. So I almost feel like each letter should either be an input, or we have almost like a hidden input behind the image word row itself, and that could manage the, you know, the change events and the focus states. But bearing in mind that we are okay, never mind. Let's write this down. Let's write this down. I'm thinking in my head now. So we got two options here. We can use input as hidden. Sorry, let's hidden input, where like, you know, the focus state is on each row, and then the keyboard input adds a letter to the next empty square. Yeah, that makes sense. Square. Cool, and then backspace would obviously remove the last filled-in square. So that could work, and the other alternative is input for each letter. And we could automatically, you know, manage focus state. So if the user inputs a letter, we could forward them to the next input, like that. Manage focus state, and then if we think about, so we said that once the user submits a puzzle, we want to return whether the puzzle was valid or not, and then also return the letters that were in the correct place. So I think with our hidden input, if our letters are, for example, sparse, so I was right, So Y was in the correct position, but these two aren't. If we have these rules, backspace would remove the last filled in square. You'd need to sort of remove Y before you can even input that. So I don't know if that's going to make too much sense. Versus if we had an input for each letter, the user could focus on this. The user could directly focus on that and go, I hope I'm making sense. But yeah, I think let's go with this approach, and we'll see what happens. I haven't coded a thing yet. I'm doing everything on the fly. And like I really wanted to do like coding for real, not something that's pre-done and then I just like, you know, give you the pretty results. So let's see what happens. I think that'll work. Another thing we need to remember is the image list needs to be sortable because they won't be in the correct order. And that's important before we validate our puzzle. We need a submit button. And that might have some loading state while we're checking with our backend function if the user's puzzle is valid. And then if the user gets it wrong, we want to display the letters that were in the correct positions. Cool, what else? You know, a user will have a certain number of attempts, so we can display that somewhere. We'll have a hint for the puzzle, so maybe with like an icon and a tooltip around it. And then when the user clicks on that icon, we'll show a dialog with the hint. And then, you know, on submit, if the user actually gets it right, we're going to show them some kind of celebration GIF, and it'll change for each puzzle just to keep things interesting. So we'll show like a success dialog, maybe with a little message. Woohoo, congrats, you won, you did it. Celebration GIF, and maybe like some stats on how you did. So number of attempts. Did you use the hint? We could measure the time it took, so time taken. And you know, later on we could even like make a score here, like based on all of that. What is their score? And then, you know, show leaderboard, or where was you came X position today, view the leaderboard, and then also sharing the results, because we really want this thing to go viral. Like it needs to be the next word. So we've got to get people sharing. Yeah, I think for now that's everything for our puzzle page UI. We're not going to tackle the logic just yet. We'll just do the UI. Yeah, it should be fun. So let's get cracking. Oh yes, one thing I forgot to do in my previous video is actually commit my changes. So we made a few changes, and we should keep committing these, keep them small as we're going. You know, in real development, I wouldn't be developing on the develop branch itself. I'd be using a separate branch for this feature. But for these purposes, I mean, it's just us, team of one, and you guys. So let's just keep our commits small. We won't use a branch for now. And I'm just following the conventional gets of like, you know, prefixing the commit with feet, or you can have fix, build, docs, test. What else? Refactor if it's something that doesn't really change the functionality but just refactors the code, like renaming a file. So in this case, we added a page, the home page, and that I would class as a feature. And we then go and add, you know, the package. Which package was it? So in this case, it is the app package, and we can just, you know, add something descriptive here. Added homepage and like a little emoji. What can we use? Added homepage. Ta-da. Cool. So we'll commit that. It's just seeing if we have any lint errors before sending it up, and we'll push it. Cool. So that's great. Let's start with the puzzle. Awesome. What are we going to do first? We said we were going to look at puzzle. We need the data first. Okay. Let's start with that. Let me open the app package again, just to make things a bit easier for us. Open the puzzle page. Before we do any of this, we're just going to get some mock data. Let's go puzzle data. Cool. We want to type this, so let's go. Now I need my monorepo back again. Just go grab that quickly. Basically, we've got a types package because, you know, on our backend, we're going to want to use the same types as the app uses. So I've just got this little types package over here, and we'll add a new domain for the puzzles itself. Let's go ts, and we'll export type puzzle. So we'll need to define that now, and don't forget to export that. Cool, so in terms of our puzzle data, what are we going to need? We're going to need there's going to be a date, obviously. We want to go and filter on the back end. We want to return today's puzzle. So we'll need to have a date, and that'll be just in some kind of GitHub Copilot says whatever that is. I don't know what that means, but the date might be something like this, or maybe like maybe it should be an ASO string, and we can filter on that. That should be cool. Cool. Title, no, I don't think we need a title, but we do need a bunch of images, and each image, it'll be an array, obviously, because they're going to be sorted. So the order is important. The object won't work for us unless we have an additional field there that gives us our sort order. Each image will have, it won't have a URL, because with Firebase storage, you are storing files at a path, and using that path, we then go and fetch the URL based on if the user is authenticated or not. I don't know if it's the best, but it's the Firebase way, and I'm just rolling with it. So we'll have a storage path which we'll use to fetch the download URL on the client, and then with each image we're going to need a word associated with it. But we don't want to actually add the word in here directly, because we're going to be fetching this on the client, and anyone can just go and inspect the dev tools and see, or the network request, and see, oh, the words, chocolate. Boom, I don't need to actually play this puzzle. So let's just keep it fair. We'll keep things mysterious and use a placeholder instead. So all it will be is a number, I think. We just need to know how many letters the word has. And I think that's everything we need in terms of images. What else do we need? We need a hint. We also need, no, not the solution. We're not storing that here. We need the success storage path. So for the GIF, we'll need to store that on the back end too. And then do we need to store it on the back end? I wonder. We could probably use a different service for that. The GIFs in the public. Anyway, let's just do it properly. Let's keep it on the back end for now. Yeah, we'll store it on the back end. And I think that'll work for now. Let's see how we go. Let's open our puzzle back, and we will just make sure we are using that puzzle data. Oh, my bad. Puzzle imported from types because it's already added. And so yeah, we can actually just add some mock data. Later we'll fetch this. So what do we need again? We need a date, which is ASO string, which is a util that I've got that uses day.js, and it'll just give you basically the current time as ASO string. But I think what we need is date, where it's like today, is there something like that with day.js? I don't know. Let's see, date. Interesting. Okay, let's go have a quick Google day.js current day in ASO string. Okay, that's gonna give us that. We could obviously set the hours and stuff. I'm just checking if there's a way. If there's a way to do it quickly. Day, no hours, or minutes, or seconds. Okay, let's see what ChatGPT says. Oh, cool. Okay, using format. Surprise, surprise. Cool. Okay, let's do that. Format. We'll go. I think the other one's like an American style. Sorry, Americans, but this is how I roll. Okay, so we'll do that. Is that an ASO string now? Yep, apparently. Why is that? Okay, yes. Let's go. Puzzle type. That's complaining because we named our page puzzle and the type is also puzzle, so we'll just rename that. We are missing an images array. We are missing a hint and a success storage path. Cool. Alrighty.